the people that you lay with, they stay on your energy for 7 years.
Wait, I heard Brother Yosef talk about YouTube. We are back. We got ourselves Empress L, and she is here on Beyond 5D. Welcome back to the guys and goddesses. Make sure you guys do like for more. So in this video, we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about extraterrestrials. We're also going to include a lot more healing advice, ritual advice, ways to break soul ties. This is someone who's very intelligent when it comes to breaking those soul ties. A lot of people be like, hey, what do I do when I have a soul tie connected to me? How do I break it? This is the lady here. She breaks soul ties. All right, so Empress L, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. So
Peace and love, you guys. It's such a pleasure to be here. My name is Empress, and I am somewhat like a community leader. I have been doing a lot of community work for the past couple of years. You know, my main focus is health and wellness, mind, body, and soul. So I sell a lot of products. I teach people about health and wellness and how to elevate their life. So
yeah, so getting straight into it, Empress, I want to ask you this personally. So when it comes to soul ties, even me myself, I've gone through this. A lot of people, a lot of brothers and sisters going through this. How do you break a soul tie?
So a soul tie, it's once you consummate with someone, you know, you are joining your souls together, your energy, you're swapping lives with them, kind of, sort of, you know. And after you do that with someone, you know, their energy stays with you. And so how do you break that? One method that I always talk about is the walnut hole method. So you'll get black walnut holes, and you will boil it in water, and you will put that into your bath, writing down what you want to release, and, you know, envisioning them being cut from your energy. Also, a lot of deep meditation on calling back your energy, and, you know, just really doing your due diligence to clear them out of your space, you know. And when we talk about things like this, it's kind of a touchy situation, because it's said that the people that you lay with, they stay on your energy for 7 years.
Wait, I heard Brother Yosef talk about that too. So it's just like the DNA really merges.
Yes.
Like the ancestors, everything merges.
What? Yes. So 7 years.
Wow. So my question is that I'm begged to ask is, what about the people who, you know, sleep around everywhere?
You know, those type of people, it's a messy thing, because you could be in a relationship with a woman and you arguing with her, you know, like I'll tell people, you're not arguing with her, you're arguing with all the men she's been with, you know? So it goes deep psychologically.
Okay, so basically, like when they're arguing with that woman, right, basically those guys are still calling on to her energy and pulling her energy and things like that. Wow.
Yes.
And how effective is this bath, this black walnut whole bath? How effective is it from you trying it?
Well, it definitely sets a tone to in the space of cleansing your energy. And, you know, I know people who do it multiple times, you know, and constantly, for me, life is just about constant elevation. You know, you have to have a focused, clear mind in order to do and live your life's purpose. You cannot constantly be getting distracted and called on, because that's just distractions.
So going forward for relationships, what is a tip that you recommend for relationships? Before I even ask that, you as a conscious woman, you know, you're a spiritual goddess, you know, you move a certain way, and, you know, you have boundaries. What do you look for in a guy, a conscious spiritual guy?
What I look for in a man, you know, for us, like, it's really, for conscious women, it's really slim pickings, because, You know, I want a man who is plant-based. You know, I've been plant-based for 7 years. So I've cleansed my body, and I continuously cleanse my body. So getting a man that's plant-based, having a man that has his own business, you know, having a man that has a good relationship with God, you know, having a man who's conscious about his health and wellness, you know, working out, going to the gym. Those are very important qualities for me. And having a man that's not, you know, everybody knows.
Yeah. So how would you like? Let's say a man like lies to you and he says that he didn't get it, but he did get it. Would there be a way for you to find out?
Oh, for sure. Like, you know, conscious women, you can't really hide stuff from. You know, I can just feel it because the has altered your DNA. You know, you just, people like that, they think differently. You know, I had no offense to anyone who's had it. No offense.
Yeah. So when I've heard that a lot too. And let's say conscious women, you can't hide nothing from them. So you're saying like, if a man was to, you know, have lies within him, even the most smartest man, he couldn't get away with it.
Nah, my dreams are real.
Dang. So did this apply to every conscious woman or only certain ones?
I mean, you have conscious women, and you know, you got fake conscious women.
Right.
You know, so I'm a woman that's very closely connected to God and the Most High, and so like, you know, I just really stay in my lane. I mind my business, you know, and so when I indulge in someone else's energy, I see what's going on, you know, from afar, because I'm now allowing someone into my space and I'm going into someone else's space. So dreams will reveal a lot to me, and honestly, you can tell a lot by a person's mannerism. How do they speak? You know, how do they move? What's their body structure like? What do they do on a daily basis? You know, you really have to pay attention to people before you get involved with them. It's important to pay attention to how people act in their daily life, who they are in their daily life, and even when, especially when they get upset, you know, what gets them out of their character, what triggers them, how do they respond when they are triggered, you know? So pay very, very close attention to
So you're
things
saying,
like that.
So what you're saying is like, you know, we see the good in people, right? But to wait for that dark side, to see how dark it is, because you know, to really understand both polarities of that person.
Yes.
So you also said the body structure. What benefits would you get from seeing the body structure of a person?
You know, for me, it's something so innately, like I'll know, like based on a person's hands, how their hands are structured, you know, that can give you clues to what they do. And
really?
As far as their work goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I knew this one man, and he just looked like, what is it? People who do woodwork.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing he did in his life, you know. So I met this guy yesterday. Well, I didn't meet him, but I was on the elevator with him, and I was like, do you swim? Something was like, he's just a swimmer. I could just see him swimming. And yeah, so for me, that's how I utilize it.
You pick up on energies really well, and to see the hands and to understand that can tell you a lot about your personality. Wow. So when it comes to relationships, going to that next question, what should people start understanding about relationships, you know?
Okay. One thing I say a lot is that there is no such thing as a perfect relationship. You know, you can have the man of your dreams, but if you guys' paths don't align, it could cause a lot of friction and turmoil in your life. And so what makes a relationship perfect are the two people who work constantly at it. A relationship is kind of like a job. You know, you have to constantly work at it, and knowing who you are getting into a relationship with is very important. You don't want to get with someone who lacks confidence within themselves, because now you're going to be working to just make sure they know that you're being truthful and honest, you know. And it's like, why are you putting in so much work to make sure this person is comfortable with being with you? And that's just not the way that I feel relationships should be. Like, you know, I have my world, and then you have your world, and we should come together in harmony, you know. And that's what love is. I should be sharing my love with you. I'm not depending on you for love, but we should come together and share our love.
Right. So I'm gonna ask this, Empress. I'm gonna ask you this question. So this is kind of controversial, but you know, going on the topic of you know, sleeping with people on cutting soul ties. Do you feel like the body count of a person matters before you enter a relationship with them? Because you're talking about, you know, ancestral generations and evolutionary energy that they hold and walk around with, and you're merging that with your body.
That's a good question, because I would say it depends on the type of person.
Okay.
You know, because there's people who like Drake. You know what I'm saying?
if they like got status, they don't. You know, it's a little different.
Right.
Okay.
It's different because sometimes their body count will slow them down mentally and spiritually, and they just be in this dark space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can tell.
Yeah, other people, they hold it together very well, and you know, yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, so you feel like it just depends on the value of the person.
I do.
Right. If they have no value, then they have no value. On top of that, they have a high body count. It ain't even worth it.
Well, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't really want someone with you know.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't want that, because then you're talking about morality.
Yeah.
You know.
Morals.
So because I think that what the key components to a good relationship is communication, your integrity, your morality. Those are like three top ones for me.
Yeah.
And your trust. Like, are you trustworthy?
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah. But people change.
Yeah. People change.
And we all have things that we have to go through and learn from. So, you know, yeah.
Would that go into, like, I've heard a lot of people talk about that. They say, you know, you can get with the right person and then everything goes well, Empress, you know, we all, you know, and then like 2 years later, they like, nah, F it. Like, you know, things change. Like, they might just get bored. So what do you suggest for people who think like that? Is that a pessimistic mindset? Oh, this person is going to change on me? Or is that just being realistic? What do you think?
Could you repeat that one more time?
When it comes to like people thinking about if the person is going to change on them, do you feel like that is a pessimistic mindset, or you feel like they don't trust that person?
I feel like life is change.
Life is change. Okay.
Yeah, life is change.
Okay.
But I feel like
agree.
you shouldn't worry about, you know,
Right.
whether someone is going to change on you or not, because when you have a dedicated, motivated, like, inspirational person in your life, then they'll continue to be that for you, because that's just who they are.
Yeah.
And you know, people are just so fickle sometimes.
Yeah.
So I personally don't like to worry myself about things like that. I don't like to, because at that point you're projecting, putting thoughts into the universe that isn't healthy for yourself. You know? So
you would suggest, like, what about people who say, like, put that person through like a test stage? And they say this is toxic. They say this is toxic. I don't recommend people do it, but some people be like, hey, I'm putting this person through a test stage for 6 months. I'm gonna put them through all types of tests, and I'm gonna see like if they're worthy enough to be in my life.
I don't play with those types of people.
You don't play with those types of people, right? But there are some toxic people who do that.
That is not. Like, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying?
And some people don't got time for that.
Right. And it's one thing to you know, because we live life,
Yeah.
and so to see and to observe someone is different from saying like, okay, I'm about to test them mentally, like premeditated testing.
Yeah. Yeah.
is not cool.
Yeah. That is. So going into forward extraterrestrials, you have had extraterrestrial alien experiences. Do you mind sharing some of these?
Yes, you guys, this is a real thing, and I got a couple stories for you guys. So, I will say I had a magical experience one time, and during my magical experience, I literally felt my cosmic mother and father, you know, and I've also had instances of where I felt my children, like, on the other side, like I could feel them, and we communicated through feeling, not through words. And it was definitely a tear-bearing moment. Like, it just brought tears to my eyes, just to feel the love of them from the other side. But you know, really, during another experience I had, I could just feel like, wow, you're right here in Georgia in this day and time from galaxies and galaxies away, you know, and it's a humbling experience. And so to know that, and then I remember one time I was sitting at a movie theater, and it was a car right in front of me, and it was a Caucasian man in the car. But when I looked at him, I seen an alien figure, and it brought tears to my eyes because to know, like, wow, this is a real thing, you know? And that was like my very first moment that I could see, because I have this thing, like, I would say I call it a gift sometimes, so where I can see people's DNA. And so, you know, sometimes people look like a lion, sometimes people look like a bear, like they look like these animals, or plants sometimes. I've had, like, some women, they look like a rose to me.
Wow.
You know?
And Divine Insight has stated that as well. He said that, like, at our most truest form, we are an animal. And do you feel like, you know, this is a real thing? Like, we're literally just like these creatures walking around as a human body?
Yes. Yeah, because before we manifested as a human being, you know, we experienced lives in different forms. And so, you know, when I say I can see your DNA, you know, that just means, like, I can see previous forms that you may have took, you know. I'm not saying I can see all of them, you know, but I can just see certain genetic makeups in you.
Yeah. So going also into the core cutting, right? I know someone has to do spiritual ways to core cut them, right? You know, the bath, meditations. What about the physical aspects? Should this person block the person? Should this person, like, physically, what should they do? Practically, what should they do as well? Because they always say, if you do something spiritual, you have to manifest it in the physical realm too, to take practical matters.
That makes 100%, you know, that makes sense. So for sure, you know, if you are trying to block someone's energy from out of your life, it makes all the sense in the world to block them in any way. Like, you don't want to see anything that they have, you know.
Right.
And because people pulling on your energy is no joke. That's why you'll have constant thoughts of someone.
Yeah.
You know.
They coming from someone who's actually, like, dealt with this.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, right, what if we are, like, you know how I said, like, you know, we're protected, right? You'll be protected, right? But you'll still have someone that, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, like, you dealt with, and you'll literally get thoughts of them. Is that because they're literally, like, looking at you, like, and looking at pictures of you and looking at videos of you? That alone can make them just in your mind.
That can be the case.
Or it's just them thinking about you that's sending those thoughts.
That too. All of that. All of those can be the case, because it's energy. It's being thrown into the universe, and if you're feeling it, you know, And so sometimes, you know, a lot of times that's the case. Other times it could just be a missing and a longing within you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but telepathy is real. I will have people like just banging on my head, you know, like, and I'm like, yo, I'm working right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to you when I get there.
Yeah.
And then when I finally have time to call them, they're like, I was just thinking about you, and I'm like, no, duh.
Dang. So you're that psychic to where like, if it was like people are knocking on your psychic windows. What?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Dang. And what are some ways to stop that? Like, what about people who you haven't slept with, like just friends? Do you still feel like they can knock on those doors?
Yeah, so some of the people, they're my clients.
Right.
They're my customers, and they're like, they really need to talk to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I protect my energy, and because I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of clients. You know, I have a lot of orders. I got a lot of products to make.
Yeah.
So I'm an extremely busy person. And so, you know, when I don't have time to communicate with anyone, I have to put up my walls, you know? So.
Wow, what a time to be alive as in right now, you know. We are in a world with Jedis, magicians, all types of all the occult going on, and this is just reality. So moving forward, when it comes to past lives, you also specialize in past lives, Empress. What's some things people should know about their past lives?
So, you know, I don't feel like it should be a thing to where, oh my gosh, I have to know my past lives. You know, I don't feel like that should be a thing.
Yeah.
Because I'll do past life regressions for people, and the whole purpose of that is to heal past life traumas, which are still on you now, which are and can be creating blockages in your life. And so, you know, because with past lives come that past trauma, that past pain, you know, and so I feel like people should know that you have soul contracts, and a lot of the people who may be in your life today or now, even family members, you know, they were contracted to be in your life for a reason and a purpose. You know, men could have been women in their past lives, and vice versa. So,
and you said you had a client like that before, who your client was a man in a past life. That's a real thing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that's a real thing, and she was just so like mind-boggled because, you know, she remembered what it felt like to be a man.
Wow.
And so she was like, oh my gosh, to feel what it felt like, you know, to want a woman, and, you know, things of that nature. It just really blew her mind. But yeah.
So going forward, right, there's a stigma, there's a saying in the, you know, the conscious community. They say that when you are a woman, divine feminine energy is darkness. Is that true?
You could say that.
It's chaos. They say, like, what can you elaborate on that?
So I would say everything is perspective. I'm not one of those type of people that's just gonna shut it down. Like, no, that's not what I believe. I'm not that type of person. You know, what I do is I will and I can look at something from a different perspective. So for someone to say that to me, you know, because a man is a positive energy.
Yeah.
You know, he gives, he's a giver.
Yeah.
A woman is negative, you know. So, you know, for something to be negative, of course, that could also like symbolize like a type of darkness.
Right.
Because, I mean, entities do want to feed off of, you
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say it's darkness, you know what I'm saying?
It's more of their nature.
Yeah.
It's more like they're naturally wired on that type of, you know, dark side energy more, a little bit more. Creativity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because chaos, you have to build or you have to destroy in order to build.
Right.
So.
Because there's a saying, like, you know, chaos isn't always bad. Sometimes you need chaos to change what you want to get, and that could mean like you need, you know, chaos to change your living situation. You need chaos to, you know, make people leave you alone, you know. So I understand what they mean by chaos though.
I do. And you know, I come from a place where a lot of ideologies are looked down upon that I might have. Like, I might say that men are supposed to be more gentle, and because you know how they say women are from Venus and men are from Mars. You know, what if that was opposite? What if men are supposed to be from Venus? What if men are supposed to have a more gentle, subtle nature, and women are supposed to be more like warriors type thing, you know? So I come from a space like that, so that's why I'm not so...
Yeah. I do like that perspective, because the more you question things, the more you actually can grow when it comes to your mental mindset. And over here in Beyond 5D, I do try to preach people like that, you know, to open their mind up a little bit more. Not to be like, you know, this is the truth, this is the only the truth, I don't want to hear nothing else. So going forward, you also made a statement that's saying that we have one soulmate and multiple twin flames. Can you elaborate a little bit more on this? Some people don't like this. They say this is the wrong, this is not the truth. What do you have to say about this?
So this ideology stems from a Hebraic origin.
Yeah.
And when you look into the etymology on twin flame, that actually is more modern term. You don't see that in ancient scriptures like you see soulmates.
Okay.
And so, you know, I know it's a whole thing. Like, people have them not confused, but mismatched. You know, so my whole perspective is that before we manifested into our physical body, the soul was one, you know, like the yin and the yang, male and female. And upon birth, the birthing, you know, like, you're splitting the soul into half, because you have, I just said, like, the women are negative and the men are positive.
Yeah.
So that makes the whole. And so when you look in nature, everything has a negative and a positive to it.
Yeah.
And so before the great separation or the split happened, that was your soulmate.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And so you only, like, really have one soulmate.
Okay.
You know, there's instances to where God will reassign your soulmate, but it's not really, you know, because finding your soulmate is miraculous. You know?
Yeah, I heard you got to be on your path.
Exactly. You have to be on your path, and like, the fact that if someone met their soulmate in today's world, it's hard. It'll be hard to, like, call them out, because we're so polluted with all these other energies and things of that nature. Like, would you really notice your soulmate, you know, if you've seen them? Because we're so, we're not our true selves. You know, a lot of us, a lot of people are not who they were born to be, because they have to work a 9 to 5, because they have to go to school. And it completely, like, it changes them. Yeah.
And going into the, you know, looking, would you notice your soulmate? You know, they always say, in order to find that soulmate, you have to be in your heart space, your heart chakra. And this is why I'm big on green. This is why, you know, Life Wave, shout out to all the other master teachers, Malachi York, they are really big on green light energy. And what do you have to say about the heart chakra? Why is it important for the heart chakra to attract your real soulmate?
The heart chakra is very important because, you know, that's also going to set the tone of how you give and receive. If your heart chakra is closed, then, you know, you're not going to know how to give and receive. You're not going to know when to give and from whom to receive from, you know? So it it can really, like, do damage, because you could be taking from the wrong person, thinking that it's love, and you know, not giving to people who does deserve your time and energy. And so, yeah.
So what do you feel like is the most important chakra? I've asked this to a lot of people. I've asked, you know, Divine Insight, he said the root chakra. As Yaki, he said the heart chakra. What's your take?
I feel like everyone's is different.
Because what's yours though?
What is?
Yeah, like what's your what chakra do you feel like the world needs right now? The most important chakra, whether it's the third eye, crown, sacral, throat.
I would say their third eye.
Third eye, okay. And why do you say that?
Let me tell you, human body design, you know how your chart is?
The human design?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why I said everyone's is different. But I would say the third eye chakra, because if the third eye, if once you open your third eye, you know what your purpose is, you know why you're here, you know, and when we have self-realization, then we can, because the heart one is a good one too, you know, because we need love in this world.
Right, we do.
We do need love in this world. But self-realization, I feel, is more important, because you can really be on your path, you know, more once you really open your third eye.
Wow.
Decalcify your pineal gland, okay?
What are some natural ways that you recommend to your clients to decalcify the third eye?
Detox. You have to, like, so I make parasite cleanses, colon cleanses, I make a bunch of different cleanses. And so to go on a more raw diet, you know, to go plant-based, being vegan and plant-based is two different things. So being plant-based is the best way to go. And even fasting, you know, connecting more to the ground, to the earth. So go earthing, sun gazing is important, breathing, meditation, exercise, very important. Drink a bunch of water, you know, yes.
What recommendation and what affirmation, I'll ask you this first, what affirmation do you give out to people for today?
An affirmation the affirmation of the day is I am loved. I am loved. You know, loneliness is one of the top killers of today's society. Like, people feel lonely. They feel like they don't have no one around them. They feel like, you know, their life is pointless. And you know, so I want people to know that they are loved. And I think that's important, to feel loved, you know, because in a world, in a house full of people, sometimes to feel alone is just not good.
So Empress, I want to ask you this. So social media, they promote, you know, being alone with as a good thing. Like, you know, be alone, that's how you, like, alone more powerful. Is that a good thing that they promote that?
So I love being alone, okay? I love being alone. But I feel like for some people, it's not. I feel like there has to be a perfect balance. Because although I love being alone, I'm also in the community. I work at a bunch of events. I'm surrounded by people. You know, I can call anyone up, you know, and, you know, talk to them. Although it might not be a connection like what I might crave, it's, you know, still the availability to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So being alone, you gotta have
the balance.
Yes.
I do agree on that. There's a lot of people in the spiritual community who be alone so much, and then I'll get, you know, DMs, emails, be like, you know, they don't, you know, feel like the black sheep. The family doesn't understand them. They're misunderstood, and it can lead down to a very dark path of what you call depression.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely I recommend everyone to find people, find your soul tribe, find ways to elevate yourself. Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to include, Empress?
I will say on top of that, like spending time with yourself to get to know who you are, because getting lost in this matrix is, you know, like it sucks and drains your soul. And so what gives you purpose, you guys? Find out what gives you purpose. What is it that you like to do? What is it that you love to do? You know, I love making jewelry, you know, so I spend a lot of time making crowns and jewelry for my clients. I love making products. So I'll make my caverse toothpaste, you know, which reverses cavities and stops bleeding.
Yes, yeah, y'all gotta get it. I gotta buy some from you after this too.
Yes, and I'm gonna make those hair growth pills for you.
Oh yeah. I've been you know eating them almonds. Them almonds are hard. They be messing your teeth up.
Yes.
So much, so yeah, y'all get right with her. All right.
So yeah. Find out what is it that you love to do in order to serve your purpose, and I mean ultimately serving the Most High, because if you're not helping someone else, then you know, what is the purpose of life?
Yes. All right, you too. We're gonna go ahead and lock it in, guys and goddesses. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Please do me yourself a favor and just like, comment, and share this video to at least 3 people. Let's, you know, raise the energy of this with green energy. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Ashe. Give thanks. Peace and love.
Peace and love. That was great.
Awesome.
Way better than the first one.
Yes.